My name's Bishop Philip Ngadizi. I first became an Orthodox at the age of 12. My mother was from the Orthodox family, and my father from a Pentecostal family. So in our culture, when the two marry, the wife has to leave everything and join the husband. So my mother had to join Pentecostal because of my father. But at the age of 12, I decided to follow my uncle, who was a priest in the Orthodox. So I started going to Orthodox church, and he therefore baptized me. And afterwards, I became an altar boy at that same time, and he taught me into Orthodoxy until, when I left from my primary school and joined high school. And then when I left high school, I left him and went to Nairobi. In Nairobi, I joined a church of Saint Matrona Orthodox, and I found a priest called Theophanes. And that priest, when he saw me, after 2 years, he told me, "Hey, I think you are fit to go to the seminary. Will you refuse?" I said, "No, I'm ready for it." So he took me, he recommended me to the seminary. That is back in 1992. Now I was like 25 years. And the first person I met in the seminary was again the person he recommended to me, which was Andrea Televidis, now Bishop Macarius. Because by that time, 1992, Andrea Televidis had not been consecrated as a bishop. So he was a layman. So in 93, when I'm going there, already now he was now a bishop and in charge of the seminary. So he took me in and studied there for 3 years. After finishing my 3 years, I had to leave. First joined into politics. At least for 1 year, I became a politician. But the next year, he called me back and told me, "Hey, now you can become now a celibate deacon." And I said, "Okay, I'm ready for it." So in August 30th, 1998, he made me a deacon. And then on the following month, September 8th, 1998, I became a priest. And after that, started working in the seminary just as a worker. But then he made me get a scholarship to St. Vladimir Seminary. So it is in St. Vladimir Seminary that I joined 2000 up to 2003. 2003, I graduated from St. Vladimir Seminary, and I went back to Kenya to the seminary. And when I went there, I was now employed as a lecturer there. So I've been teaching in the seminary since that time, 2003, September, up to last year, October, when I was elected as a bishop. Most of the priests who passed the seminary, so most of them have passed through my hands as a lecturer there. So last year, on 7th October, I received a call from one of the bishops in Alexandria telling me that I have been elected as Bishop of Kisumu and all Western Kenya. So it took me as a surprise, but it shocked me again because I know the situation in Kisumu. It wasn't good. So I said, let the will of God be done. So I was consecrated a bishop on 25th. I went to Cairo at the Cathedral of St. Nicholas. In December 5th, I was enthroned in the see of Kisumu. So after my enthronement, now it was me and the diocese. Now I could not look at anybody else to come in or who, me and the diocese. That's what became of it. It was terrifying, but I asked God and said, "God, if this is the cup you want me to drink, then let it be. I can't run away from it. Let me just do your will." But for you to understand the diocese of Kisumu, the diocese of Kisumu has been under the larger part of the metropolis of Ethnopolis.
Oh.
Metropolis of Ethnopolis had 3 countries, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. Until when they came to divide now the countries, and now Kenya became a metropolis on itself. So we call it the metropolis of Kenya. And Yaronda Macarius, till he is. He's still there even now. And then in 2016, that's where the diocese of Kisumu was carved off from the major metropolis of Nairobi. And they were carved 2 dioceses, the diocese of Kisumu and the diocese of Nyeri. So the diocese of Kisumu, the first bishop was Athanasius. May his memory be eternal. After he passed on, because he was just there for 3 years, he was trying to put in plans on how to develop the diocese, but unfortunately, he could not be able to do it. His life ended. Then, after he had gone, the election of Bishop Marcos came. And Bishop Marcos has been in the diocese around 5 years. In total, the diocese of Kisumu is not 10 years, it's less than 10 years.
Less than 10 years, yes.
So it is a new diocese which needs to be developed. It has got its own problems. And it is with us that we are supposed to look into how to solve those problems. The diocese of Kisumu is on the western side of Kenya. That is the border between Kenya and Uganda. I come from that part. That's why I'm saying I know it. I know the problem, and I know how difficult it is to solve that problem. It hurt because that diocese seemed to have been left behind in so many things. In terms of, building of churches, there is only around 10 churches which are permanent. The other that we remain with, 32 are semi-permanent. And when I talk of semi-permanent, I mean a church you build with mud, okay, and then you put iron sheet on top. So in terms of churches being built, it is left behind. We need to do something about building the churches there. But we have a very big major issue. When Bishop Marcos was coming in, already there was a friction between Moscow and Ukraine. And that problem was transferred to us. So most of our priests jumped the ship and went to Moscow. Why? They were being paid good money. They earn good, better than what the other priests that are left. So the other priests that are left, they said, even if we are earning small, let us keep the faithfuls. So they stayed because they wanted to keep the faithfuls and the churches intact. So we have that problem that is still going on about, either are you Greek or are you Russian. But for us, we are Africans, neither Greek nor Russian. But the problem has been brought to us. Now we are the ones who are suffering. We are the ones actually who have been, hit hard with that problem. But we pray to God one day, perhaps God should intervene and the churches again come back together and will continue as one church. But as of now, the church in Western is divided into 2. The priests who went were 27.
27.
Yes, but they went with a very small church, like 25% of the church. But the majority, 75%, are still under our jurisdiction. And when I was consecrated, the patriarch told me, you should go and bring them back. And I said, yes, but the question was how? Because I don't have the resources to bring them back. It is true, when I went there, some of the fathers who went to Russia came to me and told me, yeah, we can work with you now. We had a problem with the bishop who was there. We can work with you now. You are our brother here. But the question is, are you able to sustain us? Then I asked, sustain with what? And they said, we are earning this much. So they get over them like $300, which is okay for them. It sustains their family, and they take their children to schools, and they have some scholarship for the schools. But when they asked me that, I said, I cannot be even able to sustain these ones that are left because I don't have the resources. So how will I be able to sustain you? So they said, okay, think about it. When you are ready, you let us know, we will come. Not canon law, not dogmatics, not even tradition. It is just finances. But because of our incapability of giving, some good resources for them to take their children to school, when they are sick, they have, support. When they need food, we give. Because we did not have that. That's why the majority left. In fact, the majority left. It is the bishop who has been trying to add more priests into what was left. That's how it is. So that is one of the major problems we are having, how to sustain our priests we have now, and if possible, I would want to have that church back, or if possible. But that can only be done when there is resources. From my center where I am, where the offices are, going to the south, 9 hours travel. Going to the north, around 6 hours. So when you look at it, and the weather and the bad roads make it even more difficult to reach the people very easily. I don't have an accurate estimate. I know I'll go and do some census later on to understand the demography of the area, but I was told it's around 200,000. We have different languages and different cultures. Each tribe has got its own culture and its own language. In most cases, we use Swahili. Swahili language is a national language for all Kenyans. So wherever I go, if I wanted to talk to somebody and use Swahili, I will not use my language too, because people will not understand. So Swahili is a common language that we use. And again, people are taught from nowadays from grade 1 in English. In my diocese now, I was left with only 31 priests. And these 31 priests have to be supported fully in order to have their children go to school. They have to feed. And then apart from that, I have 10 papadías who have
been widows.
So I have to support them again. Again, I have around 5 there and 6, 11 people. So in total, you have the 31 priests plus the 10 papadías plus 11 workers around. Each priest has got around 2 or 3 churches to manage. So an issue of transportation for them again is a big issue. It's a big issue to them on how they can go hop from church this Sunday, another Sunday the other church. If he has 3 to another Sunday. Yeah, they have to go perhaps in each church once in a month. Yes. So I need to ordain more priests. If I'm not going to get those who left then I need to ordain priests to fill the churches. So I need around, let's say, from the 31 I am having, I need another again around 30 there to be able to fulfill what the mission is all about. An example is me. When I left my parents in Pentecostal, I joined my uncle in Orthodox. So my uncle captured me alone. But in our family, we were a big number of people. 3 had already died, so we were around 7 of us. Okay? Now mother, father, that is 9 of us. But only one became Orthodox. But by the time I became a priest, all my brothers and their children and their wives became Orthodox. But in most cases, they know what we do. They come to visit us even in the church and see how we do the services and how we perform some other sacraments. They always come. In our culture, you are not called or invited for a funeral. We always believe that that person who died invites. So you get anybody coming there, whether you are which denomination, whether you are which religion, you find yourself together because of that person. And when we merge like that in those areas, that's when we propagate orthodoxy. Our ways of doing things, our way of walking, our ways of everything that we do tells the story about Orthodox. And so, before even you leave, you encounter 1 or 2 people asking you, hey, you're from the Orthodox. How are you doing this? How do you do that? Then you explain, then you say, yeah, you want to hear more? Visit me. We talk. And then when he visits once, second, third time, he's coming. That's how we do it. We use our cultures to bring them. So we don't, when you see this funeral there, you just go. When you see this wedding, you just say that. If even they say the Protestants have baptism and they call you to their house, you don't go to participate in the baptism, but you go to the house to give a blessing for that child. But when you talk, they realize a difference, and you start getting some members from that. Yeah, that's how we do it. Very many people are interested. Some of them even come and say, hey, by the way, is Orthodox and Catholic the same? So yeah, come here, let me tell you. So you start telling them about how the separation came in 1054 and why are we different from the Catholic, and why do we do what we do. So slowly by slowly, the person now starts knowing, the truth about the beginning of the church. It is the Christians. 85% of Kenyans are Christians. 15% are either Muslim, Hindu, Sheikh, whatever you can call them. It's 15%. So the majority are Christians. But in the Christians, you have denominations. When you put together the Protestant and the Evangelicals, you get that they are the majority. But when you separate now and say each group has a denomination, then the Catholic is the majority. They are very, very different, and even sometimes despise one another. Now, when we come to difficult situations, I have already highlighted a few. I've told you about, the issue of how we have a problem with the priests and the Russian situation, and how our priests are getting meager to survive in the field. So one of the issues is how to be able to get resources to support the priests and their families, plus the papabias that they are widowed. All those people need support. That's one of the issues. Second issue is that we have in our own center. The first bishop made a borehole, but 400 meters away from the center in somebody's homestead. Then that person has become hostile. He has cut the water. You cannot get the water. So we need to again dig another new borehole in the center itself. And it will cost us good money. So when I asked for how much it would be, they told me according to that area it would be around $12,000 to put a borehole in that area, which can go between 100 and 150 meters deep. So that's another problem that we are having. And then we have schools that we support, and we have three high schools, and we have four primary schools, and we have a nursery school, which actually that one we give our own money to make sure that nursery school is moving.
Nursery.
Yes. So with this, because we support them, we need again to have support the students and buying books. Sometimes the school fees is not there. You need to assist them. And even those people who do not go into those schools, but they are our members, because of poverty, you find that every term they are making a line at the bishop's place. They want the bishop to assist them with the money to take their children to school. It is my first time visiting Greece. I'm grateful about it. Not only Greece, it is my first time coming to Europe. That the first time has been in Thessaloniki. You know, I believe that the Greeks, wherever they are, they were taught about the church and how to maintain the church long time ago. So what they are doing is like a tradition, but it has been passed to them. For us, we are receiving Orthodoxy, but we have not learned on how to maintain the church. So at the moment, what I'm just requesting from my Greek brothers and sisters, you know that we have a young church in Africa there, and especially Kisumu, the diocese of Kisumu. People do not know how to sustain their churches, and if they could, perhaps they have goodwill to do it, but because of poverty, it is not easy for them to do that. I would wish if the people of Greece here would heed our prayers and assist us. One, to manage our affairs, like how we can be able to deal with the priests. But a long-term solution is needed towards this, especially if we could be having, good minds who can bring us and tell us, if you develop this thing, it will be able to sustain the church without borrowing outside. So that will be a very leap, a jump, a very leap jump that we'll have made. So one is to assist us on how to maintain. But two, can you be able to show us the way on how we can be able to sustain ourselves? If we can do that, then even us will be able to give to others, saying, what you are given, you lend a hand to another person. That's what I would wish my brothers and sisters in Greece to do.
Amen.
Sisters. Yeah.
Amen.